And now I want to get into Colorado. Kind of give a brief overview of their season, what to kind of expect. The Buffs, I started watching Colorado in the fall of 2023. First year of Shador and Shiloh and Travis, and Coach Prime. I hopped on that bandwagon. I got completely infatuated with the aura of that team, to be completely honest. And I remember it was Labor Day. We were at my grandparents' house, and I'm watching on the TV at our camper because we camp in their yard or whatever. We got the TV set up. And I remember this was before I really liked college football, but I just remember watching Colorado playing in their white and gold uniforms, playing at TCU the year after they played Georgia in the national championship, and playing a real test, and they went on, and Shador threw for, I think, 502 or 503 yards. Travis had a touchdown and a pick, and it was just a super high-scoring game, and it looked like Colorado wasn't going to be able to pull it off, and then, they just hung with TCU, and they ended up winning, and it was like that hype was real. That was a good football team. And then the next week, they play Nebraska. They beat Nebraska, so now they're 2-0, and now they're ranked, I think, 19th in the country, and they play Colorado State at home. And this was probably one of the funnest games that I've ever watched, and it was the game where I first saw the rivalry between Colorado and Colorado State. I didn't really know much about it before, but then I see the rivalry. I see Colorado State's head coach, barking at our guys, and Brendan Nicolosi, I believe, Fowler Nicolosi, their quarterback at the time, he's doing his thing, and their safety, I can't remember his name. He's the one who lacerated Travis Hunter's liver with that late hit. Just all of that, and I just found myself really cheering for Colorado, and that was the first game that I would think that I was kind of a Colorado fan. I'd watched the first two games. I don't want to say neutral. I was cheering for Colorado, but I didn't really know any of the players. That Nebraska game, it was like the first taste of their first rivalry, and I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. And then I tuned in for a really late start game late at night the next Saturday against Colorado State, and then when that safety, I can't remember his name, when he came down and he hit Travis and he late hit, and I'm like, what are we doing? I got like mad and stuff, and it was like, I think I'm kind of becoming a Colorado fan, jumping on the bandwagon hard, but who didn't jump on the bandwagon at that point? But ever since then, I literally haven't missed a game. Love watching the Buffs, and it's been tough since Shador left. Quarterback troubles. This year, hopefully the quarterback troubles are a little bit resolved. 2 out of the 3 starters, quarterback, because they started 3 quarterbacks last year. 2 out of those 3 guys are gone. Julian Lewis is the only one left. I really liked Caden Salter last year. I didn't feel he got his fair shot, but he's gone. He's playing in the CFL or something like that. The other guy, I can't remember his name, he left as well. So it's just Julian Lewis now. He's got the keys to the program. He's a 5-star for a reason. He was the number 2 player in the same recruiting class as Bryce Underwood, so we'll see how he does. The non-conference schedule is difficult. We got to play Georgia Tech and Northwestern. Played Georgia Tech last year in Atlanta, I believe, and then this year it's at home. So a little bit of that'll be the first home game of the year. A little bit of home field advantage. But man, when we played Georgia Tech last year, I was like, Georgia Tech, they're legit. They're going to be ranked. They weren't at the time, and then they were, and we saw how good they were. And then in the conference games, they got Texas Tech, Utah, Arizona State, who's going to be good again despite losing their quarterback. Houston, which we just talked about, Oklahoma State, who basically is the Oklahoma State Green Wave because everyone and their mother from North Texas went to Oklahoma State. I gave them a realistic record of 6-6. That's kind of like if every game you should win, you do win, and every game you should lose, you do lose. So if they're 5-7, I wouldn't be surprised if they're 7-5. That'd be pretty cool too. Making a bowl game is going to be the goal of the year. It's going to be a good team. Colorado's good. They got a lot of help from the portal. They lost their 2 best wide receivers, both Millers, Omarion and DeAndre Miller, both gone. One went to Arizona State. Omarion Miller went to Arizona State. So that'll be interesting to see what he does against us when we play them. But I give him a realistic record of 6-6. We'll see what happens. yeah, that's about all I got. I'm really excited for the season. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.